Say hello to the Tab S9. Samsung Galaxy Tab S9, latest and greatest tablet from Samsung. $799 to start off with. Now they have the Plus model, then they have the Ultra model. I like the 11-inch size regular tablet because I think it's the best tablet for like normal tablet stuff. I'm not super big into having a 14.6-inch tablet, 12-inch one. Like those are pretty big. I like the 11-inch one because you still get the big screen experience, but it's still very easily to use like handheld. And of course, if you want to type on it, you can turn it up vertically and you can use it long ways too. And it's lightweight, it's 1.1 pounds. So there's not a whole lot of craziness going on here. Like it's not big and gigantic. It doesn't cost over $1,000. And I think it puts it squarely more in a lot of folks' budget, especially if you're not looking for that big, gigantic experience. I know some people want the big, gigantic Tab S9 Ultra, the Tab S9 Plus, but then there's some folks who just want the 11-inch one, like me. And I learned my lesson. I bought the bigger iPad like last year, the 12.9-inch one, and I wish that I didn't. I wish I had just gotten the 11-inch model. But anyway, so some changes here this year. So we've got still 128 gigabytes of internal storage. It's got 8 gigabytes of RAM. You can get a 256 model. This one only comes in 128 or 256. You can't get a 512. You can't get a 1 terabyte. None of that crazy stuff. But it does have an expandable SD card slot in it. So that's one of the nice things you get with a Samsung tablet. You can put an SD card in it to expand your storage, which is pretty darn nice. So you've got that. Now, one concern and one question I've had is 5G connectivity. As of right now, the only one I know you can get with 5G connectivity is the Tab S9 Plus, even though I've read some information that says all three of them are supposed to be, but at least here in the United States, if you go to Samsung's website, they only have the Wi-Fi model. So I'll have to follow up on that later. I haven't found anything that talks about really a 5G model on this one. So that's kind of a frustration, especially if you want a 5G Ultra, you want a 5G regular 9. So that's something that's kind of irky, but either way, we'll find out more later, I guess. It comes in two colors, beige and graphite. I got the graphite one this year. They kind of pared down the colors, no third color option. I kind of wish they had maybe a third color option. That would be cool, but very straight to business with this tablet. They finally added an OLED, AMOLED screen on here, no longer an LCD screen, so I can't complain about that anymore. Now, I like that it's an OLED screen, but I know that there's some folks who really liked having the LCD who are sensitive to the brightness and like the flickering and stuff on the OLED screens. So if you've got that condition, if you're concerned about that, probably ought to stick with the Tab S8. The Tab S8 is still a very, 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 very good tablet. So you're not missing out on a whole lot there. This got the Snapdragon 8 Generation 2. So this has the same chipset in it that's in the Galaxy Z Fold 5, the same chip that's in the S23 Ultra. So think of this like a big, massive S23 Ultra with an 11-inch screen. Doesn't quite have the same cameras though. I mean, it's got a 13 megapixel camera on the back, which is perfectly fine. 8 megapixel on the front. Crazy enough, both of them do 4K at 60 frames per second video if you're interested in that. But those cameras are good for video conferencing and for any light video work or camera work that you need to do. And then, of course, you can still use the keyboard. Now, right now on Samsung, as of the making of this video, you can get up to $650 trade-in credit towards this tablet. Now, if you've got a Tab S8 you're going to trade in from last year, then you can get $500, which is what I got. But they're giving a free keyboard cover case away with it if you get it right now that way. I've got a link in the description for that. Now, I feel like the case this year is a little cheaper. I don't really like the material it's made out of. It just feels kind of cheap. And they made it where you can't use last year's keyboard cover. Now, you can use it. It says it's not compatible if you plug it in. You connect it to little pogo pins, and it says it's not compatible, but it still works. The big issue, though, is on the back, the Tab S8 had two cameras, and it was an oval. And now they have one camera with a circle. So whenever you put it on, it won't seat. Like it won't seat magnetically up here on the top if you use it with the Tab S8, but it still works with it. So yeah, you can figure that one out if you want. So I think they went a little cheaper on the material. The keyboard itself still kind of feels the same, and it's still not backlit. And I really wish they would make it backlit. I think that would help out a lot. I really like the Tab S8, Tab S9, Tab S7. I love the DeX functionality. I love when you connect them to the keyboard, it'll pop up with DeX, which is their desktop client. And I think it's great. I think it turns these things into basically portable laptops. It basically turns it from, okay, straight up tablet mode to laptop mode. It's great for especially like Microsoft Office Suite, multitasking, things like that. You get the S Pen. Of course, the S Pen now is down to 2 milliseconds of lag, so it's basically indistinguishable. It's just like instantaneous writing, and it shows up on screen. Great for drawing, great for writing, great for taking notes, great for creative stuff and things like that. And one thing, yes, I know it's $7.99 to start off with, but you don't have to buy an Apple Pencil like you do with the iPads. So that does save you some time and money there. And also, I really do enjoy the S Pen. I like the S Pen a lot better. And one thing I've really liked and talked about for years is you can use the S Pen anywhere on the screen. One thing that still irks me with the iPad is like you can't even swipe up to go home with the Apple Pencil. It's so ridiculous. And somebody told me the other day it's so you don't like swipe to the home screen when you're doing graphics design stuff. But I think that's more of a minority than you would want to just go to the home screen because it's very irritating. So I don't like the Apple Pencil. I love the S Pen, and I think that it works really well. Samsung's got it pretty much perfected at this point. And if you want to get an Android tablet, I think the Samsung Galaxy Tabs are the best. Great performance, beautiful screen. Again, it's got 120 hertz refresh rate, 2x AMOLED, super bright. And one thing that was interesting though, it's Gorilla Glass 5. I was looking around the information and it just says Gorilla Glass. I had to do some deep diving. It's Gorilla Glass 5. It's not even Gorilla Glass Victus. So my guess is maybe Gorilla Glass Victus, as it gets like a larger slab, maybe it loses some of its protection that they advertise. But Gorilla Glass 5 is perfectly fine. I find that Gorilla Glass Victus and Victus 2 are overly susceptible to like light scratches, micro abrasions, and things like that. And then, of course, for the case here, and the S Pen, it connects magnetically onto the back. So it connects magnetically onto the back, and then the little housing goes over it and covers it so it doesn't pop off. The magnets are not that strong. It won't fall off just from straight up inertia, but if you bump into the edge of these things, they pop off all the time. So you really want to have the keyboard cover to make sure it comes on there and holds it. Otherwise, it might pop off. You might lose it somewhere. And that's just the way that these things go. It doesn't have a slot that it goes into. I'd love one day for them to have like a slot for it to go into, basically be like a giant Note or a giant Ultra version of the phone. But yeah, we don't have that. In addition to all the other cool stuff that the S Pen does, it has the air gesture support and the functionality just like the S23 Ultra. You can press and hold the button, it'll pull open your camera. You can double tap it, it'll switch it from one camera to the other, which, cases on here, you can't see the back camera right now. But you can press the button one time and it will take a picture, and then other cool stuff like that. And then, of course, you got the air gesture support as well. So pretty neat that you can do all that stuff with the S Pen. And it also comes with it, like I said, so that's a great value. One thing that's changed is instead of having a fingerprint scanner built into the power button, it's now underneath the screen like a lot of the other Samsung tablets. So I actually have a matte style finish screen protector on here. We try and find it. There we go. And it actually works even with the screen protector on here. So that's nice and reassuring. You can see it works pretty well. So you've got that going for you. In addition to the fingerprint scanner under the screen, it also has facial recognition if you want to set that up and use it as well. And it does have wireless and wired decks. Just want to throw that out there too. So you connect to the Pogo pens, you got wired decks connected that way, and then you got wireless decks as well. So I think Samsung's done a lot of good things here. The Snapdragon 8 Generation 2, I think this is the best tablet for gaming. You could play all those AAA titles, but the tablet's still kind of handheld. Like if you want to play Call of Duty, it's a lot easier to have your thumbs over here instead of having a tablet that's like this big. Or if you turn it up vertically, you can hold it and you got your thumbs a lot closer together, especially for typing. So I think there's a lot of advantages to having an 11-inch tablet over a 12 or 14-inch tablet, just because it's easier to use handheld and it gives you more control over the tablet. It's not as big. You don't get as much fatigue. It barely weighs a pound, 1.1 pounds. And I think that's just one of the reasons I like it. And you can still, like I said, you get the laptop connectivity. So you just put out. It goes right there, connects to the pins. It holds itself up. You get DeX mode, and then you can use it like a laptop. I like smaller laptops. I like the portability of 11-inch tablets. They fit perfectly in backpacks, especially if you're carrying a laptop and you want to carry a tablet too. You can usually fit both of them in there together, as opposed to like some of the larger tablets. Like you can't fit both of them in there. So there's a lot of considerations for it. I know not everyone wants the 11-inch tablet. Some people want the Plus, some people want the Ultra, and that's fine. Those are going to be great too. But this one right here, I think it's great for me. If I'm going to use a tablet, and I've talked about this in a lot of videos, I use the Fold, the Galaxy Z Fold, as my tablet now. I used to use a tablet all the time until the foldable phones come out, and now I use the Z Fold 5 all the time. So after testing this one out, I do enjoy it. I think it's the best tablet that they've made yet. I think if you want to get one, I think it's worth the money. I know they're a little on the pricey side, but again, it does come with the S Pen. You get 4 years of operating system updates, 5 years of security patches. So it's got the latest Android 13. It's going to get all the way to Android 17 and still an extra year of security patches after that. Also, it has incredible speakers, which are 30% larger this year. They did a reduction on the blue light this year too by, I believe, about 70%. And it's got an 8400 milliamp battery, which is going to keep you going all day. Like it's a good battery in here, especially with the Snapdragon 8 Generation 2. And I think that Samsung did a really good job with this tablet. So that's all I got for this video. Hopefully I covered everything for you that you might be interested in. And if you were waiting to watch this video, I'm sorry it took me so long. I've had so many products, so many phones, all these new foldables and flippables and everything else. Sadly, being a one-man shop, I can only make so many videos. But this is it, Tab S9. Again, link in the description. If you go to Samsung, they still have the $650 trade-in credit. You can get the free keyboard case, which is over $100 value, which does help out. And then, of course, they have like their exclusive discounts for like military, first responder, students, and things like that to save additional money that way. So that's all I've got. Oh, one other thing. It does have USB-C charging at 45 watts. So it's not like slow like the Z Fold or the Z Flip. So yeah, that's all I got. So as always, if you enjoyed the video, please hit the like and the subscribe button and the little notification bell if you want updates when new videos come out. And as always, thanks for being here. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you guys next time.